Details of AEW President Tony Khan and Shane McMahon's meeting last year. McMahon reportedly wanted to run the company, have an equity stake in the organization, with Tony Khan reportedly ghosting him after the meeting was over. More details on The Rock's return to WWE tonight on Friday Night SmackDown. Details on the rumored WrestleMania 41 card. AEW CEO Tony Khan reportedly thought Ricky Starks would leave AEW because of his links to undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes. We've got backstage details on the initial booking plans for Grand Slam Australia, as well as an update on Bryan Danielson's status in AEW after he was backstage this week at AEW Dynamite. Backstage details on when WWE decided to book Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa for WrestleMania 41. The real reason for AEW Double or Nothing not being in Las Vegas this year has been revealed. The partnership between WWE and TNA Wrestling, the length of that deal has also been revealed. Plus, TNA announces another live episode of Impact in May in California. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with details on the meeting that broke last year between AEW President Tony Khan and the son of WWE founder Vince McMahon, Shane McMahon, in Texas. Now, last summer, AEW President and CEO Tony Khan and Shane McMahon, the son of former WWE CEO Vince McMahon, met in an Arlington, Texas airport to talk about professional wrestling. According to former WWE broadcaster Jonathan Coachman, Shane made an enormous request to Khan in that conversation as well, causing the latter to cut off contact in the aftermath. He said, quote, "I have it on good authority that Shane McMahon asked for the world," Coachman said on the Coach and Bro show. He asked for equity in the company, and he asked to come in and run the entire show. It was probably the first time that I said to myself, I actually agree with Tony Khan ghosting him, because Tony ghosted Shane, and it wasn't the other way around. And the fact that Shane was at the Super Bowl with his dad, it's like he can't figure out what he wants to do. Now, certainly this got a lot of people talking yesterday, and Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select has provided a lot of new details about this meeting from last year. Of course, as we spoke about, and as you can see in that picture that was leaked out there last year by Fightful and Wrestle Talk, Shane McMahon and Tony Khan met, but no deal was reached. Now, Fightful and Wrestle Talk were the first to report in the summer of 2024 that Shane McMahon and Tony Khan met in Texas. Since then, Fightful say they've heard of no follow-up plan or a plan to work together in the future. Now, as I spoke about yesterday on February 20th, former WWE broadcaster Jonathan Coachman on the Coach and Bro show had details about the meeting. Now, this was actually tweeted out by Andrew Badalia. He summarized it on X saying, quote, "Today on Coach and Bro show, Jonathan Coachman stated that Shane McMahon during the meeting that he asked for with Tony Khan, Shane asked for equity in the company, and Shane wanted to come in and run the entire show. Jonathan Coachman then stated that Tony Khan ghosted McMahon." Now, Fightful say they can't verify the request for equity. However, they've heard a lot more about the meeting between the two sides. According to a source close to Shane McMahon, Khan did not follow up with Shane. That source also claimed that they couldn't speak on the desire for equity, but that it seemed like Shane McMahon did want to, quote, run things, but didn't have the product knowledge or familiarity with AEW or their business model. That source close to McMahon also said that Shane didn't seem to take it personally that Khan didn't follow up after that, and that it seemed like Khan almost thought Shane was joking when he mentioned the possibility of running everything. The source indicated that he believed that Shane viewed his insight and abilities to run a show as valuable after witnessing years of fans and people in the industry wanting more than anyone but Vince McMahon in that role. There was never an expanded plan for Shane McMahon to appear on AEW television or to be involved in the company. Those that Fightful have spoken to within AEW say that Tony Khan hadn't spoken about it extensively outside of noting that the two sides simply met and aren't working together. The source close to McMahon that Fightful spoke to claimed they wouldn't rule out a cameo appearance, but didn't think they would extensively do business together at this stage. Now, The Rock, the final boss, returns tonight to WWE television on Friday Night SmackDown. Ahead of tonight's episode, The Rock surprised everyone on social media by announcing his appearance on SmackDown. With WrestleMania looming ahead in the horizon and no hint at his potential involvement, it seemed like the final boss would be missing the biggest annual WWE Premium Live event. Now that he's set for SmackDown, fan speculation is through the roof, and Dave Meltzer believes his appearance will answer his WrestleMania status. Quote, Dwayne Johnson was a last-minute add to the February 21st SmackDown show in New Orleans, Meltzer wrote in an edition of Wrestling Observer newsletter. What the reason is would be conjecture, and whether he's going to wrestle at Mania would either be a for sure yay or nay after this appearance, one would think. Meltzer then noted that the show in New Orleans is likely going to be where next year's WrestleMania location will be announced too, linking The Rock to the aforementioned announcement. Quote, Johnson said he was going to be there to announce a big gift to the city of New Orleans, so that's the most likely reason he's there, or at least part of it, he added. However, Meltzer did note that when it comes to timing, he has no insider information about The Rock's schedule, but noted that last time the Brahma Bull needed 9 weeks of training for WrestleMania, and right now the next Mania is indeed 9 weeks away. Now, this has kind of been summarized in tweets by WrestleVotes today. First of all, saying, quote, all signs out of the Big Easy this morning point to The Rock officially announcing that WrestleMania 42 is coming to New Orleans next year. Now, this just goes to show how late The Rock's inclusion in tonight's SmackDown was, because they also tweeted that things have changed significantly for this show, saying, quote, tonight's SmackDown plans have been reworked following the announcement of The Rock's appearance. Rumblings that both Naomi vs. Liv Morgan and the six-man tag featuring Cody, Priest, and Strowman versus Solo, Jacob, and Tama Tonga are off. Drew McIntyre versus Jimmy Uso is still scheduled to take place. In addition to this, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select has indeed confirmed this report, saying a number of matches for SmackDown have been reworked, with The Rock appearing on the show tonight. WWE deleted General Manager Nick Aldis' announcement video. Those that Fightful have spoken to claim this was a very late situation to most in the company. Of course, we'll get any more details on plans for The Rock coming out of SmackDown. We'll let you know in an upcoming video. Now, speaking of WrestleMania, a bit of an update here when it comes to the rumored card for the biggest event of the year for WWE. The company are firmly on the road to WrestleMania 41 as the card for the Easter weekend extravaganza is starting to take shape. Already confirmed for the event is a World Heavyweight Championship match between Gunther and Jey Uso, Tiffany Stratton defending the Women's Championship against Charlotte Flair, and John Cena is already confirmed to be appearing at this year, and it will mark his final match at WrestleMania ahead of his retirement in December. As far as the rest of the show is concerned and what Cena might be doing, Dave Meltzer broke down the rumors surrounding WrestleMania 41's card in the latest edition of Wrestling Observer newsletter. To start, Meltzer speculated there will be around 13 or 14 matches across the two-day event, and that a number of WWE's biggest names have their plans set. Cena is one of those stars, as a planned undisputed WWE Championship match with Cody Rhodes is still the plan according to Meltzer, and a huge triple threat match between Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins is also on the books for the show. In terms of what AJ Styles is doing, there have been teases of a WWE Intercontinental Championship match with Bron Breakker and a straight singles match with Finn Balor, but neither bouts have been confirmed, nor has Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu, a match many suspected would be taking place at WrestleMania, but at the time of recording, Meltzer believes that one of them has a different booking, but what that booking is remains to be seen. Meltzer rounded off by saying that if there are any new matches confirmed or changes made to the scheduled plans, which can always happen, they'll be set in motion after the Elimination Chamber Premium Live event on March 1st. Now, Ricky Starks, now known as Ricky Saints, is in WWE, but just why did he leave AEW? Ricky Starks is now Ricky Saints in WWE NXT, with his exit from All Elite Wrestling confirmed after months of being in the wilderness. Saints was given his release in mid-February after nearly a year on the sidelines, with the former AEW World Tag Team Champion having requested his release from his contract in 2024. Leading up to his exit, Saints stated he wasn't sure why he'd been frozen out, but a report from Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter suggests that AEW President and CEO Tony Khan assumes Starks would be leaving AEW to go to WWE due to Starks' close links with undisputed WWE Champion and former AEW EVP Cody Rhodes. Khan's belief that Starks was leaving for WWE led to him not being used by AEW from March 2024 onwards. Ricky Saints is also known to be close to Cody Rhodes, and Saints was backstage at the Royal Rumble back in 2023 with Rhodes. Saints also attended WrestleMania 40 to support Cody. Whilst Khan's keeping Saints in the dark could be seen as cold, it's seemingly a twist on how other promoters use outgoing talent, with Meltzer noting how WWE had Ricochet lose to key people on his way out when it looked like he wasn't going to sign a new contract with the company. Creative for Starks in 2024 was reportedly drawn up by AEW, with various reports suggesting Starks turned down creative plans, although he has extensively denied that was the case. Now, Grand Slam Australia was a success for AEW, but originally it was kind of meant to be a different show, wasn't it? All Elite Wrestling's first trip to Australia turned out to be a big success for the company. Grand Slam Australia generated the third largest gate in AEW history, with only the two shows at Wembley Stadium in 2023 and 2024 beating it, and many people within the company were happy with the TV ratings, as the opening moments saw over 1 million people tune in for the first time in nearly a year. However, the road to the event was a bumpy one to say the least. The show was originally scheduled to take place at Suncorp Stadium, but was moved to the Brisbane Entertainment Centre due to poor ticket sales. Many questioned why AEW would run a stadium show in a country where they have limited exposure, and according to Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the Suncorp Stadium was originally chosen by the local government in Brisbane as a way to bring a major event to the stadium ahead of the 2032 Summer Olympic Games, which will be held in Brisbane. AEW will be returning to Australia in 2026, as announced by Tony Khan after the Grand Slam event concluded, with fans able to keep up to date with the developments of where and when the next show will take place by scanning a QR code in the venue. Meltzer noted that there is much more exposure for wrestling in places like Melbourne, Sydney and Perth, the latter of which played host to the 2024 WWE Elimination Chamber Premium Live event, but nothing has been reported on as far as where AEW might land in Australia in the new year. Meltzer rounded off by saying the show reminded him of an old WCW Clash of Champions event and is interested to see what they do in 2026. Now, Bryan Danielson, just what is his status with AEW right now that he's retired from full-time in-ring competition? Well, Bryan Danielson, of course, was backstage for the February 19th episode of AEW Dynamite, prompting speculation about Danielson's future in the company. Since retiring from full-time competition in October of last year, Danielson has only made a handful of appearances for AEW, with backstage visits few and far between. However, whilst Danielson being backstage seems out of the ordinary, Fightful's Sean Ross Sapp revealed that Danielson is still very much involved in AEW behind the scenes. He said, quote, "There were a lot of people in the Fightful Select Discord asking me about Danielson being backstage. I have an interview with Danielson that I haven't released yet because there hasn't been a need to. There's nothing timely about it. It was in Dallas at the All-In Ticketing event. We had some filming issues, but I've recovered it and will probably release it Revolution Week. He told me he's around a bit and he's still working with AEW and that he'll be at All In. He just doesn't know in what capacity. But this isn't out of the ordinary for him to be backstage. I don't think he's going to be there all the time, but he is still working with AEW, I believe, in a creative capacity. So every so often, you're going to get those types of reports, which I think at this stage, we're not going to write a whole new article on. Like tonight, I don't know if he was there or not, but he has been there quite a few times since he left. I don't know if he's going through rehab on his neck or if he had surgery or whatever it may be. I know he wanted to rehab it, but this is just something that's kind of common for him at this stage. It's not out of the ordinary for him to be backstage, said Sean Ross Sapp. Now, going back to WrestleMania 41, one of the matches seemingly set for the show is Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa versus Fatu wasn't WWE's original plan for the two Bloodline members at WrestleMania 41. It emerged this week that Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu are scheduled to go one-on-one at WrestleMania in a program that will likely see the Bloodline implode, with Fatu having joined Sikoa's Bloodline during the former MLW World Heavyweight Champion's WWE debut back in 2024. WrestleVotes has reported that the original plan for Solo Sikoa at WrestleMania would have seen him face Roman Reigns, a match that ultimately took place during the Raw on Netflix premiere in January. WWE decided to move forward with plans for Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu after the company opted to hold Sikoa versus Reigns on January 6. Quote, "We are told there are plans for Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa to meet one-on-one at WrestleMania. According to a source, those plans were shaped shortly after the decision was made to do Solo Sikoa versus Roman Reigns at the Raw Netflix premiere back in January instead of WrestleMania, as was the plan coming out of WrestleMania 40, WrestleVotes said on WrestleVotes Radio. Now, issues between Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu have arisen on WWE television in recent weeks, with Sikoa's interference in Fatu's Elimination Chamber qualifier doing little to help Jacob, ultimately costing him the match against Damian Priest. Now, Double or Nothing this week was announced to not be in Las Vegas, and the details as to why have now been revealed. Glendale, Arizona will be the host city of the May 25th, 2025 AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view, and the reason it's not a return to Vegas has been revealed as WWE related. Writing in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer has revealed the decision makers in AEW believe that the May date would be too soon after WrestleMania 41, which will take place at Las Vegas's Allegiant Stadium on April 19th and 20th. Meltzer wrote, quote, "It's not going to Las Vegas because the date would be too soon after WrestleMania in their minds. This will be the third Double or Nothing event since 2019, which won't take place in Las Vegas, with 2020 and 2021 events taking place in Jacksonville due to the COVID-19 pandemic." Now, a bit of an update here when it comes to the WWE and TNA multi-year relationship. The length of this partnership has now been revealed. Following a working relationship throughout 2024, an official multi-year deal was announced on January 16th, 2025. The arrangement was expected to create, quote, "unprecedented crossover opportunities within WWE and TNA programming for NXT superstars and TNA wrestling stars," end quote. While this official partnership has always been described as multi-year, JDC, who has reportedly been working as a TNA Wrestling backstage producer recently, has revealed the exact length of the new deal. During a recent appearance on the For Love of Wrestling convention, the former Fandango noted that WWE and TNA Wrestling agreed to a 3-year deal. According to JDC, the arrangement between WWE and TNA Wrestling will take them to at least 2028. He said, quote, "TNA has a working agreement, a 3-year deal with NXT and WWE." And finally, speaking of TNA, another live episode of Impact has been confirmed. TNA Impact will be live once again on May 1st in Irvine, California. The show will be held at the Brent Event Center. TNA will tape episodes of TNA Impact on May 2nd. Of course, there have been more episodes of live TNA Impact recently as last night from Full Sail University in Orlando, Florida. But there you go, guys. Latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right-hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.